Well, hello, folks. It's another Wednesday, and that means we are here to rank a puzzle game for the Game Boy. And as I explained last week, kinda, maybe a little bit tiny screwed up the schedule a bit. Mostly because I wanted to play Pipe Dream and Loops and Pipe Dream back to back. We played Zoop already, as you can clearly see. It's over here at number 16. And so because of that, normally every 5 games I would put on a sure thing, or what I'm pretty confident is going to be a sure thing. So this week we are playing Money Idol Exchanger, also called Money Puzzle Exchanger, depending on the region. And this game it's sort of a variant on Magical Drop. And you'll see what I mean. I think it's a spin-off. Like I think it is actually the same team. But at any rate, let's jump on in. And so there's not much in the way of options here. Just control, exit. And so I kind of took a look at all of these. I honestly, you can't really see the difference between them. Oh, that's why the picture got all screwed up. Okay. Anyway. And so we don't have the opportunity to see our opponent. I assure you they're there. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. So the basic gist of this is, again, you pick up the things and you drop them back down, so it's kind of like, again, it's Magical Drop in that sense. The notable difference here being that instead of matching by colors, you are matching by denomination of coins. I'm assuming yen, since, this is technically a Japan exclusive release. So we get together 5 1 yen coins to make a single 5 yen coin, 2 5 yen coins to make a 10 yen coin, 5 10 yen coins to make a 50 yen, you get the idea. If you match more than that, it just clears all of them. And I think the points you get are either based on the denomination or it almost looks like we don't get points at all. I don't know, I'm looking at the score over there and not seeing how that's working. Okay, so that's just telling me the value of whatever move I just made. Okay. So maybe there's no points at all in this. You might say the game's pointless. Which is technically true, but we don't have a problem with that. Oop. Oh, I won. Okay. So unfortunately, we can't really see what the other player's doing. We just have to kind of take the game's word for it that they are actually participating. Also, it does seem like maybe getting... Ooh, this is a bit of a situation here. There we go. It seems like just the sheer value of the clearing 2 500 yen coins off the boards kind of trumps everything else. And so my assumption is that that's kind of doing the most damage to the other player that I can't see. Left and right movement on this is actually pretty smooth, which is nice, because this is definitely a game where you move side to side a lot, and sometimes real fast, and so you kind of get the hand cramps a little bit. I guess 2 E's does something. My first thought was that the game's going to make me spell the word free. That doesn't seem to be the case. Lose. Okay, I didn't win that time. I'm gonna pick that one. I feel like I had a big thing set up that I completely kind of lost how it was gonna work. Wait, I got 2 R's. What does 2 R's do? That. Okay, 2 E's clears everything off the board of that denomination, okay. So I guess R, is that raise the value? Is that what they're going for? Right, so if I put this on the... There we go. Yeah, okay, so that raises the value of whatever you drop on it. You can clear all the ones. I guess I won. I gotta say, not having a good sense of how you're doing relative to your opponent is a bit of a bummer. Like, that's not really... I feel like that's not working as intended. Some of these games start off with... The starting board can be kind of nasty here. Okay, so maybe A line means that, like, an attack is coming? So that's, you know, not so much that I've built up an attack line, but that an attack line is on its way. I have to say, though, I mean, this is very readable. You know, if they went with Magical Drop, which is a color matching game, like, this would have been a little more complicated. I think going with Money Puzzle Exchanger was probably the right call. Looks good, controls really well. Like, I want to stress that point, because that's kind of the thing that's making the strongest impression here, is just how smooth this is to play. Let's see, like, there's like a little teensy tiny little meter in the corner next to the portrait of my opponent that, again, one could assume is probably related to their current status in the game. don't know, it doesn't really do the best job communicating what you need to know. Of course, like any Neo Geo game, the enemies get real aggressive real fast. I was hoping that would do a little more. There also doesn't appear to be any way to make the coins drop faster. It sort of require like maybe like one more button than than the Game Boy has, I suppose. Again, despite the level of aggression shown by the CPU, like it's not it's arguably a little more forgiving a game than Magical Drop. At least it feels that way to me. If I lose this match, I'll play one of the other modes. I'm getting a little too into this anyway. Yeah, this is getting a bit tight. Yeah, so look at the character portrait right now. And then if we pick two-player mode, half of the portrait changes, and then the other half changes back in a way that doesn't look quite right. Now this one lets me choose my character, and I'm gonna go with this one. And so this appears to be timed. Well, it's not. It is recording the time. I don't think it's like a timed challenge. Okay, so it says we're on level 4 now, so I guess there is like a level that increases. And there's another couple of numbers down there. One that says 5, and another one that's max something, 2. Yeah, so that's your max combo. We got it up to 3 now. I don't know what the 7 signifies. But this seems to be like straightforward, just, you know, keep going. Again, the score thing really only tells you the points value of the last move you made. That's odd. Alright, can we set this up? Want to put this here, these here, this like this. That's about as good a combo as I can sort of naturally set up. Anything better than that is luck. I guess it's a matter of circumstance as to whether or not this is a good or bad thing, but game is kinda going on here. Apparently up to level 25. It's not ramping up that much. Which is again funny when you consider like the modes where you have to play against the computer, and the computer gets famously very aggressive in these games. I know, like in some of them, like Puyo Puyo for instance, they kind of treat the single-player mode as though, you know, we're just like a practice mode for when you get into versus games. But maybe that's what's going on here, that they just don't concern themselves all that much with the single-player modes. But we're now up to level 30, and the timer just hit 10 minutes. can pause. And it took a solid 40 seconds for the game to end at level 30. 32 points, 10 minutes, so okay. What's the one below it, though? What does this one do? Because on the face of it, this looks kind of the same? I can't tell if this is ramping up faster or I'm just playing poorer. More poorlier. Erasing certain denominations from the board does more harm than good. I feel like that might be the case. Well, this appears to still be level 1. Sort of max combo of 3, and 13 of whatever that other thing is. I worry a little bit that I'm making this seem less engaging than it is. I mean, from just sort of a viewing perspective, I don't know, it probably looks like there's not a whole lot going on. At least I think that's feels like the impression I would get from, like, watching this stream as an outside observer. I mean, but, like, this is... I mean, one, this is really holding my attention. I don't care for the music. I wouldn't call it bad, but I'm not thinking much of it. But, I mean, I do not... I have nothing bad to say about the controls, though. The controls are fantastic. When you drop the pieces, sometimes it can be a little tricky to predict how they're gonna sort of shake out, like... Definitely been a few moments here where I thought for sure I was about to get a combo. It's saying I'm still on level 1, but it does seem to be speeding up a bit. Maybe the number below the level refers to the speed level? It just jumped up to 31? 32? Drop that over there, like that. So, yeah, the level is still 1. The other number is 37. Excuse me a moment. Yes, I know, I could pause the game. But I don't think I need to. Okay, well, I totally meant to do that. Because I'm just so very talented. There's probably a particular rule setting which coin flips when you sort of upgrade them. I haven't quite worked out what it is. course, the funny part here is that I'm usually the type of person who complains about games being a little too tough. But in this particular instance, hey, thanks for the follow. In this particular instance, I do have to admit, I could use a slightly steeper difficulty curve on this. Not a deal breaker, but, you know, just gotta be honest. I also feel like I'm not making super effective use of these power-ups. It feels like they were intended to be a little more helpful, and I'm just kind of trying to get them out of the way. Alright, well that's been about 40 minutes, 40 to 45, thereabouts. Yeah, it jumps up by like one increment every 15 seconds. I guess there are other ways to make the game end sooner if I really wanted to. And, well, no high score at all for that one, so I don't know how I did. think mechanically, the game is extremely solid. I think it's a little bit better than Magical Drop in some ways. Just specifics about how the gameplay works. I think they did a great job making a game that feels good to play. I imagine there's probably, some issues with like the small screen, the blurry screen, the what have you screen, that maybe slowing the game down a bit is preferable in that sense. I do think it gets a little... I'm not going to say tedious. I mean, it can be, to go that long without the difficulty ramping up substantially, it can get a little dull, a little tiring. Which is, of course, heavily contrasted by the versus modes, where it is quite the opposite. Again, the enemies in these games, the CPU competitors, tend to be pretty vicious, pretty fast moving. They tend to attack pretty aggressively. I think this is as good as this game could be on this platform. For better, for worse, for whatever. Oh, excuse me. It's a very fun game. It's just one of those things where kind of would like it to get a little more challenging, a little quicker. But it's a better game than Zoop. We may have landed on it pretty fast here. I think it's a better game than Nontan. I don't know how it does in comparison to Puyo Puyo 2. Depending on how it does, it may bump up 2 spots, it might only bump up 1. I think it is. I think this is... I think you could pick this up and start having a good time with it a little quicker. I mean, if we're being 100% fair, Kirby's Star Stacker is also a game that takes a while to get challenging. But this isn't as good as... Is it? No. That's actually a tricky question. Where does this sit in comparison? It's better than Star Stacker in some ways. I think does it have more going on? That's the question, because there's modes. There's a timed mode in that, and you can start at higher difficulties as you unlock them, and the high difficulties in Star Stacker are pretty tricky. Yeah, I think that's where we sit. Like, it's definitely like solidly constructed game. Like I said, looks good, feels good. I don't love the sound, but what are you gonna do? But if a game feels good to play, that goes a long way for me. Money Idol Exchanger, aka Money Puzzle Exchanger, is our new number 6. Welcome to the top 10. You know, it's not a first-party game, but it is a late release, and it does the job well. And that's going to be me for this evening. Let's just hop on here and see if there's anyone to raid. I think Alpha Trion is going to be attempting to stream this evening. But he doesn't appear to be up yet, so... Oh, hey. Looks like Psychedelic Eyeball is playing some Pinball Builder. Let's come have a look at that. And if we see Alpha Trion hop on online, I'll probably jump over there afterwards. But for now, we're just going to hop in here. And I will be back tomorrow night with some more live improvised music. I'll be back on Saturday night with some more music production. Until then, thanks for coming by. Thank you for hanging out. And as always, I do hope to see you next time. So bye for now.